season 6, I know for sure, there was an episode called Allegiance in one of those rock pits where the Tok'ra and the Jaffa got together for the first time.
Right.
And season 1 and season 2, that's a lot of years to go by where you've not, shot anything together. And I've always wanted to ask you both, was there some kind of animosity or something, Did one person want to keep the other one apart? Did you guys go to the producers and say, you know what, don't put any thick...
Are you still trying to stir trouble?
I'm not trying to stir trouble at all. I just genuinely...
It was a loving, caring place. There were no behind-the-scenes animosities.
Is he talking? He doesn't know.
Well,
did you
mention? Tony was, he's going to replace me, I heard, and that was... No. Well,
you're making that up.
I
really?
don't know. I mean, Tony came in.
He needed to be replaced.
He had my new apartment. He had everything. I said, "What's going on here?"
I had his connection. I had the whole thing.
What connection?
The stuff under. Sink.
Thank you.
Medicine.
My medicine.
Your medicine.
And this is why you guys weren't in the same episodes for 4 years?
Look at these faces. Look. Do you think there's one episode up until the structure of season 6 that could contain this beauty?
Oh!
Huh?
Yeah, you think so?
Look at this.
I like this guy.
I mean,
even though he's going to replace.
Not only are we actors, we are key lights.
Yeah. What's a key light?
I wasn't going to say anything, but I don't know what that means either.
You don't know what a key light means?
Oh.
What are you doing interviewing us?
Oh, a key light?
A key light.
Oh!
You're in the light right now.
You see?
At least you were, but now you're not.
No, you're not. Just block them all.
I had worked with Tony prior to that. No.
Once was enough. We were in the same acting class.
Yeah.
He graduated, I didn't.
Oh.
I was remedial.
Oh, well.
I didn't exist yet.
You got your master's in theater arts.
I do have my master's in fine arts.
Damn, I don't have any stinking masters.
I don't need any stinking.
Okay. Gentlemen, Jaffa, Tok'ra, Kree.
Yeah.
Kree.
What the hell does Kree mean?
It means a lot of things.
No, I know. It's Jaffa.
Listen up.
Jaffa slang.
Yoo-hoo.
I'm more of an evolved humanitarian. I'm not. Jaffas are,
Jaffas are cool.
Jaffas are kind of sub.
Jaffas are cool, and Jaffa are sort of. I mean,
I don't think Jaffas are cool.
I'm telling you. Wait.
That damn thing you wore in your head all the
we're
time.
We're the wild people. We are out in nature. You guys are so cerebral.
We're very evolved and very beyond all that.
I wonder if they even have sex, these guys,
Oh,
they did hide in caves.
I know. You think... I always was wondering what was under all that calf skin.
A sweaty body.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 20 of Dial the Gate. My name is David Reed. It means a great deal to me to have you with us. In this episode, we are taking a step back, 10 years, in fact, to May the 30th of 2010, when Mr. Carmen Argenziano was still with us, Jacob Carter and Selmak of Stargate SG-1. This man was one of my favorite human beings, and his loss was tremendous. In May of 2010, he and I were guests, along with Diana Botsford, one of the writers of the Stargate SG-1 novels, in Atlanta, Georgia at TimeGateCon. And I was approached by Mr. Alan Seiler, who was one of the programming coordinators, and I think one of the founders, if I'm not mistaken, of the convention. He was a big Stargate fan, and he wanted to have a Gate World presence there. And I said, I'll love to be there on one condition. I get to interview Carmen. And we spent 45 minutes together. And I've had this DVD sitting in my closet for 10 years. And it was every intent of Gate World to publish it. One thing led to another, and we didn't manage to get it out. And then Carmen died. And we started going through a lot of the old content, and it was like, well, for this new show, for Dial the Gate, what do we want to do? And, you know, like a sarcophagus, we wanted to resurrect him for an hour. This is a never-before-seen interview, except if you were in that room in Atlanta, you saw it. I am frustrated with the audio quality. There is a hum of the recording. I do apologize for that. I've tried to minimize some of it in post, but we're going to present this content with you as well. I take Carmen through some initial questions, and then we show some clips of the episodes as well. And we're going to see how this strings itself along. This is going to be a very unique interview because it was 10 years before this show was built. So I appreciate you coming by and walking down memory lane with us for this episode, and I do appreciate your patience. Before we start that, if you like Stargate and you want to see more content like this on YouTube, it would mean a great deal if you clicked the like button. It makes a huge difference with YouTube's algorithm and is going to help the show grow its audience. And please also consider sharing the video with a Stargate friend. And if you want to get notified about future episodes, click the subscribe icon. Giving the bell icon a click will notify you the moment a new video drops, and you'll get my text notifications of any last-minute guest changes. This is key if you plan on watching live, and clips from this live stream will be released over the course of the next several days on both the Dial the Gate and GateWorld.net YouTube channels. Let's go back in time, May 30th, 2010, to an interview between myself and Carmen Argenziano. I must thank TimeGate for making this interview with Carmen possible. We have interviewed you twice, neither of them by me. That sucks. So,
It's a pleasure and an honor to be interviewed by you, David. This is a very impressive young man, and a young genius and an old actor. So we're gonna have a fest up here. But it's a pleasure, David.
Interviewed 150 of you guys.
Whoa.
And over 7 years, and never used. And Darren and I were competing. We said you were at Creation 3 years ago. And at the beginning of the event, we go through the guest list and say, okay, he'll do him, I'll do him, and that's how it works. And we got down to you, and it was just like, whoever gets there first. So I went downstairs to interview someone. I went upstairs, found the two of you on the balcony. I was like, damn, I missed the boat. So I went out there and listened, and you guys were out on the balcony, and I missed it. So now you're mine.
Where was Creation? Where was it?
That was 07. That was spring of 07. Vancouver, yeah.
Vancouver.
It was in Vancouver. So, you know, your body of work is more extensive than I ever imagined that it would be. I didn't want to just talk about Jacob Carter. I wanted to talk about, because you are not just Jacob Carter. I mean, most of us recognize you as that. So I went to your IMDb, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to ever be able to scratch the surface with you. You have done so much stuff. I mean, do you look back on your life and say, man, this has been awesome? Or do you look back and say, man, some of the stuff that I did, holy cow.
Yeah, I guess IMDb gave me a credibility that I never dreamed of. It's amazing that 2 or 3 pages of what do they get? I mean, it's so detailed and specific and things that I've never seen. And little roles that seem so terribly insignificant. And you roll through IMDb and it keeps going and going and going. So, wow, that's really impressive.
There's like 170 different projects that you work on that was listed there, and that doesn't include your theater work.
No. And it kind of, fortunately, all adds up to a career. In retrospect, it's amazing because I was explaining that at one convention or recently that I don't know what the average is, but you know, it's much less than a baseball average. 3 for 10. You don't get 3 for 10 auditions. If you did, you'd be extremely successful. Maybe you get 1 out of 12, 15, and for every credit on IMDb, there's 12 rejections. So you do the math and you you see. Well, that's part of an actor's life sojourn is that's occupational hazard or an unpleasant thing, but it's what we do. I mean, you get a little thick skin. You stop taking auditions so personally, and you look at it as a creative experience, and you have fun, and you work on it, and you do your thing. But as I said, prior to IMDb, so much of the work, just would have gone unchronicled. So I'm so grateful that at least I can look, or my kids can see that their old man did something with his life. So I'm grateful. And yeah, all those credits I worked for, and very few of them were given to me. And yeah, I got a little credibility from IMDb. Yeah.
Was Jacob given to you, or was he something
No,
that you had to seek out?
Jacob, I had to audition for along with some really, really good actors. I was talking about that last night. I remember Charles Chiaffi and Ed Lauder and a few other actors. There was about 10 actors, and I was explaining last night that Mary Jo Slater casted, and that's Christian Slater's mom. She's still a casting director in Los Angeles. And she brought us in, and we all went on tape. And I'm sure they sent the tape up to Vancouver. And I just forgot about it, as you do so many auditions. Mostly after auditions, the hindsight and the Monday morning quarterbacking sets in. You said, "Oh, why did I do that? I could have done that. I could have." And you beat yourself up for about a day, and then you get another audition, and you beat yourself up again for not having done what you thought necessary to get the job. But I was pleased with that one. And in a few days, my agent called and said, "Congratulations, you're going to Vancouver." And I said, "Great." And no, thinking that I was only going to do one episode, but it turned out to be, God, how many years? 6 years?
Probably 8 years.
8 years?
No, 15 and 20 episodes, I think.
Yeah, about 24 episodes all in all. About 3 or 4 a year, or something like that. Thank you, Diane. Yeah.
So you went in for Secrets. You didn't go in for Tok'ra 1 and 2? Because they were like pretty much right next to each other, just 1 or 2 episodes in between.
Well, when I went in for Secrets, when I got off the plane, the transportation took me to the studio, and Jonathan Glassner and Brad Wright explained that, listen, this is going to go on for a few more episodes. You have an arc here. We've decided that Jacob Carter survives cancer and this and that. So that's great. And he said, so we just want to know, that's okay with you? And I said, yeah, I can work that out. And we did Secrets, and Amanda, was so sweet because I hadn't worked in a few months, and I was a little nervous, a little couple of lines. And she was so wonderfully supportive. Just initially, we kind of had some sort of affinity, some sort of just appreciation. There was a spark, and she got me through it, and then a nice relationship developed. And I think I don't know how long after Secrets Tok'ra 2 was.
1 or 2 episodes later.
Yeah, I don't know if that was done for. I think so. So I went back pretty soon after that and started my little Vancouver experience with Stargate.
Well, let's have a look.
Oh, sure.
You must be disappointed. Any idea why the president canceled?
Well, I'm your witness to an accident. The president couldn't adjust his schedule. Bad timing all around. General Hammond's going to present us with the medals and the credits and back at base.
Well, it's the honor that matters. Whether I can be there or not.
Dad?
I have cancer, Sam.
What?
Lymphoma.
That's bad.
Well, it's not good. But it's not the worst, don't you worry. I'm going to be around for a while.
God, Dad.
I was hoping to stick around long enough to see you become an astronaut. Sweetheart, I don't care what it is you do in that mountain. Nothing in the world can live up to the chance of actually going to space. Not for you. It's something you wanted your whole life. And I admit it. I want to see you fulfill your life's dreams before I die.
If it's my dream, doesn't that make it up to me?
Fathers have dreams too.
I'm sorry, I can't.
All right. Like I said, this thing's been bought for months, so you don't have to check up on me tomorrow.
Dad, please don't go like this.
Congratulations on the medal. I'm sure you deserve it.
Dad!
There's a lot in that scene, man.
Yeah, there is. They want, Jacob to be a tough military man who, deals on a kind of military level, not too emotional, not too warm and cozy. So I said, yeah, we'll find all that stuff later on. So, that was, God, how many years ago?
Season 2, so we're talking 12 years.
Oh my God.
12 years. Have you ever played a character with cancer before?
I don't remember. I played, mostly my characters would get shot or something.
Instant death.
Yeah.
Lead poisoning.
Yeah, something. But no, I don't remember ever having played a character with cancer before. No.
I just remember watching this episode. Just talking to Sam. Just tell him. Tell him.
Oh,
He
yeah,
wants
yeah.
so badly for to get in the space program.
And you can see the torture in her
Yeah.
and the pain and the frustration of not being able to
Yeah.
share all that with me. She's so wonderful, so
I am in
rich.
a mountain, but I'm everywhere else.
Yes, yeah. That was,
What do you look for in a script when you're auditioning? What things do you look for? What things do you look out for?
How I can get the role. What can I
Look like him.
do? What can I do differently? Anticipating what the other actors are going to do, so I can come in with a different angle. But you can pretty much tell the quality of a script through in the first 5 pages. You know if the writing's good or not. And usually in episodic stuff, it's already kind of tested and proved. And most of the episodic stuff is very well written and by professionals and by staff and all that stuff. I look for the humanity. I look for the core, the inside. I look for what this character is presenting to the world and what his cover is, what's beneath it. I like to peel a couple layers off and not give the obvious interpretation. I like contrast. I like giving it a different twist and a different angle. That always makes it more interesting. And the audition process is kind of tough because so many actors. Should I memorize it? Should I just go in and read it cold? I mean, you have to get familiar with the script and everything. But sometimes if you memorize it in a very short period of time, most of the focus and energy is spent in recalling the words as opposed to being the character. And it's important to, I'm getting back to auditions as opposed to the quality of the script, but as I get older, I feel that most of what I read now, I have some sort of connection with. And as opposed to when I was younger, I would always envision another actor for some reason being able to do the role better than myself. But thank God that's changed. But as a young man, there's so many things you go up for. Maybe because of my name or whatever, and typecasting and going up for all sorts of Mid-Eastern people and Latino people and this and that, which I really don't have any connection with. I was born in mid-America, very Americanized, and that was always a challenge for me. I didn't have the best ear in the world as far as accents and everything, but I would train, I would try to give it my best shot, but so often you go in those rooms knowing that I'm not really right for this character, but you have to give it a shot anyway. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure you've done okay.
Yeah.
all is well. Are there any characters that you won't play? Like characters that lack redemption? I know that you look at a character on a page, and there's got to be where there's just nothing to this character. I mean, this is exactly what it is, and that's it. Do you have to find who the character is? Does the character have to be interesting in order for you to play it, or is it sometimes just, I need to pay the rent this month, so let's do that one. So
yeah, that's a good question. I think it's the actor's responsibility to make the character interesting. So many characters are so one-dimensional and so obvious, but I think my first teacher, Lee Strasberg, says you cannot condescend to a character, and you cannot dislike a character. You have to find some humanity in the worst kind of serial killer, some part of his humanness, some part of why he became such a monster, why he is what he is. You just can't play
for it.
A villainous, mustachio twisting cliche of a bad person. Otherwise, it just doesn't register with people. You have to find some, even what Tony Hopkins or whatever did with Adolf Hitler. You gotta somehow find something about him that's human. Yeah.
But there's a risk of losing yourself in the process, depending on how close you are to the.
Actors can take themselves so seriously. So boring, and just snap out of it. Give me a break. What are you gonna shoot me or something? When it's all said and done, when you've done the work, come back to reality and be a human being again. But it does, when you're working on a character like in a play for a while, you certainly get shadings of that character that you see them interfering in your life and your relationship with your kids and with your personal relationships, because you are exploring why he reacts or why he is what he is, and usually, especially with stage plays, you construct a whole biography of the character that kind of intertwines with your own life. And actors are great observers. Actors, one of the things I love about acting is that I love being the fly on the wall and just watching people and not being observed myself, and even just their body language and their eyes and what they're doing is more important to me than what they're actually saying, because I just, ever since I was a kid, maybe that's one of the reasons I went into acting. I was so fascinated with just watching people and how we're so different yet so much the same, and that really intrigued me. It really intrigued me, and it also intrigued me that I was somewhat of an introverted kid. I wanted so much to be more expressive and a little stronger and a little more secure and comfortable in my own skin.
There are a ton of introverts who are actors.
Yeah.
It's their outlet.
Yes,
their
very good,
expression.
David. Very true. Montgomery Clift, so many great actors were so introverted and so sensitive, and had a very difficult time. Were just more comfortable on stage or in front of a camera for some reason. It could be much more expressive and could explore all that stuff that they have pent up inside of them. I have, as an actor, I could rage scenes and anger scenes and being an authority figure, which in life I wasn't very good at. I was somewhat, as I say, quiet and introverted. But as an actor, I could open up and be free and just enjoy myself.
Jacob never allowed you to do that. That guy never lost his temper. I'm thinking about it. I don't think he ever once did. He's always.
Oh, he was always
very
military and
quiet.
controlled. Yeah, you're right. But there was a wonderful quiet authority about Jacob that I loved. But Jacob was, he was a general, and he was in control of his emotions all the time. I never let his emotions get carried away with him. And we were discussing this last night, that Selmak was a great counterpart to that, because I think Selmak was Jacob's bridge to a kind of a universal awareness, or a God awareness that Jacob didn't have because of all the military training, what he did as a human being had no room for that kind of compassion and humanitarian, inclusive kind of feeling, because he was a warrior. And Selmak was kind of more of a spiritual warrior, and I enjoyed that duality so much, just playing back and forth on that.
I just always looked at Selmak as kind of a philosopher. He was an observer of humanity. Well, let's watch the birth of this relationship. Okay. Real quick.
A large outpost through the back of the neck. This just leaves a scar that many of us find very unsettling.
So why don't the Goa'uld do it this way too?
They don't wish to remember the horror on their host's face whenever they see their own reflection in a mirror. You must step away, Captain Carter.
Goodbye, kid.
See you soon, Dad.
Now what?
Kiss me.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm not.
Goodbye, dear friend.
He's alive. Is he okay?
He's very sick. And Selmak is weak. She may not have the strength to heal him.
You did a commentary for that episode.
Yeah, yesterday. It's such an attractive scene. Isn't it? I remember all the little symbiotes we had in the cage. There was a symbiote trainer there. Actually,
I've been going through hoops of flame.
they weren't real symbiotes. They were little noggies. They turned them into naga hide later on. But the symbiote trainer was there, and one would scurry over my head, one would go this way, one would go that way. But we finally got one to go in my mouth, so it worked out. J.R. Bourne's a wonderful actor too. He
Isn't
does
he
a
an
lot of
awesome
work.
guy?
He's a great guy. I like J. I love J.R. Man, and Joy, that wonderful older actress. I thought her name was Joy Todd, and it's not. She is, but she's from English theater and Canadian theater, and she was lovely. She was just beautiful.
You get this symbiote, and now there's a duality inside of Carter, which I, frankly, was hoping that we'd see it explored a little bit more. We get that in Seth, and I want to play that clip in a moment.
Yeah.
These two are not the same people, but when they become part of the same body,
Yes.
they have to find a way to work together.
Yes.
And this is obviously something that they worked out after a while.
Yes. Yeah. As you say, I wish the theme could have been explored more, but it's a classic theme. It goes back in literature for years about the duality in all of us. And being a bit schizophrenic myself, I had no trouble playing that. I think it's a wonderful theme for at the risk of sounding redundant. It's the extreme. It's a character that is taught somehow through life or through a spiritual awareness that there's a whole other side of existence that he isn't aware of, and there's a prejudice and a bias that's working against him, that if he just opened up and saw the world and understood and appreciated and had some compassion, it changes your life. I mean, it changes your whole perception of life, how your mind reacts, how you deal with life, how you deal with adversity, how you deal with who you think is an enemy, or anything in life, if you just try to understand it and deal with it, you react so differently. You can actually transcend and become part of a higher awareness.
You know, this race, it's hard to remember, it's hard to think that way since it's been 12 years now, but we didn't trust these people at that point. You know, we were trying to form a relationship with them. The Gould were on the way. They were the Gould as far as we were concerned. They had the Tok'ra were exactly the same physiology. We thought that they were just screwing around with us, you know, when they were saying, oh yes, we share host and body are the same. And but yeah, he was our emissary. He was our ambassador.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there was a lot of concern because of all the military secrets and awareness he had.
Yeah.
Now
the Tok'ra have all of them
yeah,
too.
Right. But, you know, it's wonderful. It's possibly there's a parallel with the world and the goal being possibly forgive me, Muslim extremists, and what's good and what's bad and where we're going and who we should align ourselves with and what should we try to what knowledge, what awareness, what peace, what can we offer? I mean, I thought of the Beatles and what their message was with Selmak and what altruism and what's right in this world and what's not right in this world and the ignorance and the prejudice and how we grow up with some sort of chauvinistic impression of our country, of our sex, of that distinction, that them or us distinction, which is very troubling, and it's getting more troubling as the world goes on. And to somehow bring it all together and what John Lennon tried to say and imagine. That's what Selmak's trying to say to the world. Come on, life is tough for everyone. Please, why do we feel we have to make it tougher for everyone and ourselves? You know,
just because you're a symbiote and that you look like the Gould doesn't mean that you are a Gould. Doesn't mean that you're bad.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So
don't judge on looks or impressions or color or whatever. Listen, be aware, and try to include yourself. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite episodes here for this scene. I love this.
Yes.
It is I who mastered the assignment.
Selmak.
Nice to see you once again, Counterpart.
Likewise. So let me ask you the same question.
Your father has an unresolved issue here in the planet, friend. It's beginning to irritate me. Yes, your father's a proud man. He refuses to see friendship broken and mend their relationship.
Yeah. Well, Mark isn't exactly rushing into my father's arms either. Even when we thought Dad was going to die, he wouldn't take my call.
That hurt your father deeply when his son didn't come to him on his deathbed.
Now, why would it hurt? As far as I was concerned, the kid wasn't my son anymore. It didn't hurt a bit.
Dad, I have a number from Mark in San Diego.
So,
I just thought you might want to know.
when was the last time you saw him?
I haven't seen him since either of his kids were born. I guess he paints me with the same brush as he does you.
Well, Selmak's pushing me to go mend some fences.
You sound like this as wise as they say. I'll go with you when you want to do it.
No, I didn't say I'd go. I just said Selmak's pushing it.
his symbiote's inside of him, and soon as he gets control of his body again, he's like, what's...
Yeah.
He's denying what the other one just said he knows he feels.
Yeah.
What a proud human being.
Yeah, it's so intractable. We're so immovable. It takes a while for us to understand what another part of us is saying or what someone else is saying. There's such a resistance to moving out of our own comfort level, even if it is ignorant and proud and dumb. That was a nice episode. But like you said, it was so undeveloped. I wish that there could have been more there.
We get a mention in season 7. Yes, it's how we're marking the kids, and she says they're great. They're wondering when they're going to see you again.
Yes, they do.
So
make a
they've
reference.
had a relationship. So it
yeah.
ended. Did you bring any of your relationships with your children in to inform your relationship with Amanda and Sam?
Yeah, I have a stepdaughter who's going to be 22, and she's blonde.
She's in the pictures in the background.
Yes. So they needed some stills of Sam and I when she was young, and we just sent stills of my stepdaughter, and they worked out beautifully, Mia. And sure, I used a lot of that. I used a lot of that with my relationship with Sam. I think I had a 3-year-old boy at that time, and my other little son was just being born, and the protective thing of a father, the dreams a father has for their kids, the concern a father has, all those things really, I think, gave a certain depth and a certain color to Jacob and my relationship with Amanda. So much of your stuff, the depth and everything is an actor finds through life, comes through his own life, and just the maturing and experiencing, going through all the ups and downs of life. If you can just share those and bring them out in your characters and in your work, it's very therapeutic. It's a wonderful craft. It's wonderful to be an actor in that sense, because life becomes a little more objective, and all the pain and disappointments and all that stuff you can use in your work as an actor, as opposed to letting them embitter you in life and twist you around and make you cynical and everything. I think acting has a great therapeutic value as far as getting through life. And
we always say better out than in.
Yes.
You're free to do that in many ways.
Yeah. You don't get ulcers and all messed up and everything. And I even find that in life now, just expressing myself. And I express myself even when I'm alone, as far as letting out the rage and all that stuff. I don't punch things. I punch walls sometimes, but I never punch people or animals.
Very good.
I'll squeeze a fish sometime. Go to the cat.
And this?
It's a receiver that will allow me to tap into the subspace network. We can keep tabs on Ball's fleet, see how their battle with the replicators is faring. We can also get up to the minute Tok'ra intelligence reports from our agents in the field.
We could have used something like this a long time ago.
The High Council never thought they could trust you with it.
What changed their mind?
Nothing. They don't know I took it. My relationship with the Council is still a little strained.
It's not going to get any better if you keep stealing stuff. No complaints. I'll take anything I can get. Weapons, receivers, silverware.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about with this. The techno-babble. You didn't do a whole lot of techno-babble, but you did some of it. Did it ever just drive you nuts? Like, how do I say that?
We talked about it. That's poor Samantha. She was very good at it. And I was saying this last night, the less dialogue Richard had, the happier he was. So he would just, you say that, no, you say that, you say that. It's just that poor Samantha had the brunt of all that. But I was saying last night, the technobabble really helped me just as an actor with doing, regular dialogue. It made regular dialogue so much easier. It made long hallway walking scenes.
Around the Gould ship again and again. Those loops.
Yeah, and I made one of those loops with Richard. We had a whole thing around a loop, and everything went well until my last line.
We're gonna wipe them out, Jack, all of them?
Yeah, that's it. And I just, deer in the headlights, I just went blank. So we did it again, and I got it. But it was all one take, so we had to get it down. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, it's a little frustrating and everything, but it was great training. It was just great, a great exercise for memorizing and for delivering and for articulating and using all that stuff.
This is the other thing I love about this scene is that, you know, we saw in Seth that Selmak was influencing Jacob. You know, Selmak was probably not objecting to all of this. He seemed to be a being who had found a spot for humanity, and kind of, he had to have agreed with Jacob that, yeah, you know, that they both trusted humanity more than the rest of the Tok'ra did. That Selmak saw something in humanity through Jacob that none of the other Tok'ra ever got.
Yeah,
because they were so deceptive and untrusting, maybe because they were living underground for thousands of years. I guess that would make you a little cranky when you encounter the But, you know, I just got that impression of Selmak that he was like, you know what, I'm on board with humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
The blending.
Yeah.
The blending
in its truest form.
Enriched both of them somehow.
Exactly.
And I believe that to this day, that a certain amount of blending and people coming together and strengthens a lot. You know, gives us a better, possibly a better gene pool. I'm not sure. We see what inbreeding does, and possibly just getting out of that, and different races getting together and all that stuff might have a great influence on humanity on this globe.
Which episodes, looking back, do you dislike the most?
Oh, I dislike I just didn't like the one where. I think it was a two-parter. They rescue me out of hell or something.
Jolinar's Memories of the Devil, you know. Was it the
weak.
Scenes, or I mean, you just didn't feel that the script was strong, or?
It wasn't a bad script. I just, you know, actors just look at their performance sometimes, and you know, so much more could have been done with that. And it was kind of a rush. I had to go up there, and wasn't really comfortable with. It seemed somewhat. The dialogue was somewhat stilted, somewhat stiff, and if I could have just improvised a little bit or made it more real or something, or connected a little bit more with the character and with the actors, I think it would have been richer for me, but it remains one of my least favorite for some reason.
My favorite, I've got to say, and it's not in any of these, Serpent's Venom with the mine was hysterical, with just capturing the mind and reprogramming it, and all the banter that everyone had. Take the HUD, Jack. Take the HUD. It's not so easy. Whoa! You know, the cargo ship going everywhere.
Yes,
a whole lot of fun.
Yes, that was. Do you have that clip?
I don't.
No. Okay, well.
I have it upstairs. I was going through last night. So, but this is one of the more cumulative scenes from the show, right here, from starting in Grace.
I can't believe there's nothing they can do. They can remove or grow old. In the last few years, you've almost perfected the process of saving the host.
That process instantly kills the symbiote before it releases toxins. It's too late for that, Sam. I'm sorry. I hate to do this to you, but I should have been dead 4 years ago. Since then, I've been all over the galaxy. I've done things most men never dream of.
I've heard that before.
I just want to know you're going to be happy.
I am.
Don't let rules stand in your way.
What are you talking about?
You joined the Air Force because of me.
I love my job.
You can still have everything you want.
I do, Dad.
Oh, come on. trying to get there. I'm not a Sam Joshua.
Yes, yes.
But he's trying to say,
Yes.
you know, get with the man that you love.
That's father's biggest fear. Just settling for something less than your dreams or what you want, or settling for something in life, you know.
Or being so busy with work
Or being so
that
busy
she doesn't
with work
attain
that-
true happiness. I mean, she's happy. I buy that she's happy. She's
Yeah.
happy staying busy. You
Yeah.
know, I am happy staying busy.
Yeah.
You're missing the greater point
Yeah.
of life, says I. So,
No, yeah. You know, there's a wonderful. Was it Joseph Conrad, Hero with a Thousand Faces? Joseph Campbell, forgive me. Yeah. And you know, just about follow your bliss, following your dreams. I mean, not settling for something because it's convenient or it's comfortable or something. Not depriving yourself of a tremendous future or a tremendous life because you're something stopping you, or you're afraid of something, or you're unsure of something. It's life is a constant process of trying to be the very best you can, and trying to fulfill whatever your vision or your concept of what your destiny is. It's not stopping. It's not settling. It's not compromising. It's not capitulating. It's a battle, but it's a noble battle. It's quixotic. It's Don Quixote. It's being something, following the wonders and the dreams, and being the very best you can be, and trying to raise the bar for everyone. Trying to really assist humanity, people, and being in the now, and doing the best you can, and being the best person you can be.
and the ultimate journey. It was Selmak saying that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I always wondered about that.
I don't think it was scripted, so.
Was that a tough scene to shoot?
It was for Sam. It was for Amanda. But she sure got into it. I mean, we all knew that that was my swan song of the show. And she actually had to excuse herself and leave. It's also an actress preparing to make it all personal and everything. And she just went outside the door and she came back in a real emotional state. And, it was very moving. It was very powerful. She really brought herself to it and used whatever the emotion that Amanda felt about us probably never working again. There's father and daughter and all that wonderful stuff. And all you need is a germ. I mean, it's a seed of the emotion as a person, and then you can just expand it as the character. And but that's the secret to the work, to making it personal, finding some sort of seed, some sort of personal connection with whatever the character is experiencing, and then just melding it into the character's intentions or the character's reality. And she does that just naturally. So a lot of actors just have that instinctive gift, and that's why they register so well on screen. It's honest,
Yeah.
and it's truthful, and it's not
real.
representing an emotion. It's a real emotion. Yeah.
So Stargate's done good for you.
Yeah, it's the best character. It brought me the most attention of any character I've ever played, and it was a wonderful journey. In retrospect, you always see how it could have been better or more improved, or he could have brought more to the play. But I think in life, we feel that way a lot in retrospect about what we could have done, should have done, would have done, the opportunities we passed up to liking ourselves a little more, and. But regrets are a part of life, and fortunately, if you can live with them, and if they're, thank God, I don't think any of us here killed anybody or did anything terribly, terribly wrong. Or if we did it in self-defense. So we can live with our conscience. We can sleep at night. It's wonderful to be able to sleep at night and know that you gave it your best shot, you know. And you weren't destructive, negative force in other people's lives. That's important.
Carmen, it was a privilege.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for watching this episode, this retrospective interview with Carmen. And thanks to Alan Seiler for making the opportunity possible at TimeGateCon in Atlanta in 2010. We've got another guest for you lined up today, Joseph Malazzi, the writer and executive producer of Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe. We are going through season 4 of the series of SG-1 and also going through his writing process. You can get an idea of the assembly line that went into an episode. So that's coming up shortly. I appreciate you sticking around for these shows. My name is David Reed. We will see you on the other side.